it's a tale of two basset hounds. What is it with, I don't know, dogs and alcohol? I don't know, that just kind of seem to go together. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about workshops and how they can help you up-level your art. How taking a workshop that's in a completely different style than yours can really help you in your own art. These are two paintings. I've done both of these paintings. It's a tale of two basset hounds here, and I don't know if you can guess which one was taken in a workshop and which one is mine. But this one I took in a workshop probably, oh gosh, I don't know. I want to say 8 years ago, maybe more than that. It was a wonderful workshop by an artist I really enjoyed her work, and I really felt like I found my people because everybody was painting animals and owls, and it was super fun. And I took it because she painted in a way that I did not. And I really wanted to learn from her. And I think the best workshops are the ones that can that you kind of follow along. Maybe you're not painting the same thing. Maybe you're all painting a mountain or clouds, and it doesn't have to be the exact same painting. But I love when in a workshop you will kind of follow along with, do I start with the eyes first if it's an animal? Do you do a background first? And I've taken a couple workshops where there's one artist, she took the background and everything was painted red. She started with a red background. Other ones started with a black background. Other ones started with no background at all. Other ones sketched it first. Other ones just painted freehand. And you can really learn a lot with that. So, and when I look at both of these paintings, neither of them is wrong, but one is definitely my own style. And I hope that I can encourage you to, when you take a workshop, what you can pull from it to kind of learn from it and create your own style. So, this basset hound, doing this, I really had to force myself. I really kind of have a strong, heavy hand when I paint, and this forced me to paint a little bit lighter and a little more delicate. And this isn't done in oil, and this is in acrylic. And what I learned from that is oil really has this beautiful kind of luminescence to it, but it also it's so I can only paint. What I learned from that is I can only paint in oils in the summertime because you really need to. And for your health, please open up a window. I know an artist, she actually has like this contraption that is on her palette and it sucks up everything, the atmosphere. So that's something else I learned. And when you look at the differences in these, they're quite stark. And maybe you want to paint like this. You want to go more softer. Maybe you're painting like this and you want to go more towards this. But for me, I really wanted to learn how to paint like this and then kind of realize what I wanted to do and to get the courage to paint the way I wanted. And when I was a graphic designer, I bring a design to my boss. I would take something to her and she would uh, look at it and she would push me to just kind of take the design a little bit further. Maybe there's something that I made bigger or de-emphasized or added to it. And that really helped me in my art later on in life. And a lot of it is life experience as well. I've been in the creative arts field for over 30 years. I can't believe it that I'm that old because in my mind I'm still like 32 or something. But anyways, and that's kind of what I tend to think about when I do art. So I think it's wonderful to learn to paint realistically, and of course, it's valuable to learn those skills of perspective and shading and where the light is coming from. But after a while, I think once you learn those rules, you can go ahead and break them and and learn and go into your own style. So I was at a show recently and I was talking to an artist and she was new, it was her first show, and I really loved her work. It was really bright and colorful, and I resonated with it. And we chit chatted. I introduced myself and I told her that I was an artist as well. And she said she had a painting of a woodland creature, And she's like, I'd like to paint more whimsically. I kind of shared my art with her, and she's like, I kind of would like to paint more whimsically. And actually, this one right here, she's like, I really wanted to, this woodland creature, she's like, I really wanted to put a dandelion in its mouth. And I thought, she should do that. She should try that. I think that would just take it one step further. And I think the reason why she kind of painted this plain animal is she thought more people would accept that and maybe it would sell better. But I think taking a chance in your art can really help you and really help develop a style because when people look at it, they will be able to know, oh my gosh, I know who painted that. So with mine is really it's I've discovered when I break it down, it's almost a formula. It's a bright color, and I do that because I live in the Seattle area, and sometimes you just want to paint the sunshine. So that's what I do. And on this one, I focus more on the face. I really think the face of an animal is the most interesting part. I would say corgis aside because corgi butts are very, very cute. I've always said that corgi butts are as cute in the back as they are in the front. Anyways, so, with a graphic design background, that really encouraged me to kind of push the art a little bit further. And one thing I do, and this is what an art teacher will not tell you, is I use black outlines. And the reason I do this is because it's part of my own history. Years ago, I worked on a comic strip I got a comic strip 15 years ago, longer, actually 20 years ago, called Suburban Sarah, and I had some mild success with that. I had over 2,000 subscribers. And if you're interested at all in raising kids, what it was like in the early 2000s, I do still have a book available. So maybe someday I'll share that story as well. But the reason why I add that, and it kind of goes back to the cartooning history. That's just kind of who I am. That's my style, and I like it. I think it's super fun, and I do think it kind of harkens back to childhood and reading the comics. So, anyways, so I did that, and I add a halo around a lot of dogs because I really think they're kind of these wonderful angels. And I part of another thing that when you look at my art is usually I like to add a fun element. A lot of times with a commission, they kind of want to leave that off, especially if the dog is passed. Sometimes it's not always appropriate, and sometimes it is. But this was just kind of my own idea. And I don't know, basset hound and beer, don't they kind of go together? I don't know, dogs and wine. What is it with, I don't know, dogs and alcohol? I don't know, that just kind of seem to go together. So I guess, you know, I learned from this, and there are things you can learn. There are things that I learned from different workshops, and it can be something as small as I learned when I took a class in acrylics. I learned what kind of palette that person used, and it was a stay wet palette. Great, that's what I'm taking. Another artist, she put like a little lavender dot in the eye to kind of highlight it. And I thought, that's really cool. I think I was doing that for a while. I don't think I do that anymore, but there's always something to learn. And as a word of warning, I think you can almost take too many workshops. Um, there's only so much content you can take in, and I really think you should create more than you consume. And I think that's for anything, because eventually, because you can learn forever, and I think you should continue learning forever. And your style is going to change as years go by. I know mine certainly has, and I knew I knew it was time to stop when I was in a workshop. And well, for one thing, if you're still shading spheres and painting pears and apples in a bowl, it's probably time to move on. I know that it was for me because I thought I do not want to paint any more apples or paint any more spheres. And I've done every workshop imaginable. I've done pastels, watercolor, printmaking, uh, drawing on the iPad, pastels, charcoal, marketing. I've done marketing as well. That's really important as an artist too. So, anyways, these are the kind of things that I've done to embrace my own style and have confidence in that. And that's what I want for you too as an artist. Um, maybe there's some things you can do. Maybe it's just painting. Maybe you paint a certain way, and maybe you just paint on a bigger canvas, or maybe you decide to paint miniature, you paint really, really small, and that's your thing. Maybe if you're painting a bunny, you get a really tall canvas and you make the ears really big. Maybe you add black outlines. Maybe you paint like that. Maybe you want to drop them. There's so many different things you can do, and I would caution you to also, when you look at other artists, don't compare yourself, because it's really something where you need to kind of stay in your lane, take what you can, and of course put together, once you get, I think, a portfolio of maybe 10 paintings that kind of all look the same, and the same style, and where people can look at them and go, I know who painted that, then I really think you're on your way. So I hope it helped you. And please comment below if you've had a good experience with a workshop, or a bad one, or what's kind of helped you. So anyways, that's my artist tip for today, and I hope it helped you in some way. And I appreciate you watching these kind of vlog style, maybe it's not a vlog style, just kind of a shoot from the hip video. So I'm here to share it with you, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you create something that you're proud of and that you have a wonderful day. All right, I'll see you soon again. Take care. Mwah.